Hi, first grade. Today, for social studies, we are going to be learning about natural resources. Our target says I can identify natural resources or characteristics of a place and how they are used. Well, Miss Lime, what is a natural resource?
Natural resources are things found in nature that people can use. There are many different types of natural resources in the world, including water, soil, coal, natural gas, plants, and animals. We use natural resources to help us survive on the earth. Sometimes we use natural resources just as they are, such as water, fruits, and vegetables. Other times we use natural resources to make other things that make our lives easier. We burn coal and natural gas to power and heat our houses, schools, and businesses. Minerals are natural resources too. Minerals come from the earth, but they are not plants or animals. People use minerals like salt, iron, copper, coal, aluminum, and gold. There are two types of natural resources: renewable and non renewable. Renewable resources are those that can be replaced. Trees are one example of a renewable resource. As long as we only cut down as many trees as we plant to replace them, we will never run out of trees. Non renewable resources are resources that cannot be easily replaced. Oil and natural gas are two examples of non renewable resources. It took millions of years to form these resources. Once we use them all up, they will be gone forever. Instead of non-renewable resources such as gas and coal, we can use renewable resources such as water and wind for power. It is important to learn to conserve, protect, and use wisely our natural resources so that there will be enough of them in the future.
A natural resource is anything that people use which comes from nature. People do not make natural resources, but we gather them from the earth. Examples of natural resources are air, water, trees, plants, soil, the sun, and wind. And we're going to talk all about those. The main thing to remember about natural resources is that they are things in nature that we use to survive, but we don't make them. Okay? That means they come from the earth already. We don't make them. Now, later on in this week, we're going to learn about how some are renewable. That means they keep coming back, and some are non renewable, which means once we use them and they're all gone, they're gone. Well, let's go ahead and take a closer look at some of these natural resources. The first natural resource we're going to talk about is water. Water is a natural resource. We use water to clean, ships use water to move things. Water is also used to drink and cook with. I want you to think, what are some places we can see water around us? Yeah, I heard some of you saying your bodies of water. Yeah, we've seen lakes, rivers, oceans, ponds. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. Water is a natural resource. We don't make it. It just comes naturally in the world. And we use it for a lot of different things. Think for a minute, how do you use water? Oh, some of you said like to take a shower or a bath. Yeah. You're drinking some water. Yeah. There's so much that we can use water for. The next natural resource we use is air. Air can be used to generate energy for transportation. We breathe in air. Okay, look at this. This is a boat. This boat is using air to help move it along. Ooh, this person is breathing in air. These are windmills. They are used to generate energy or electricity when wind goes over it. Think about, where do you find air? Yeah, just like outside everywhere. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Wow, we just used air. And what a natural resource, because we can't make that. Ooh, we learned about rocks in science. Did you know that they're a natural resource? That's right. We don't make them. They just occur naturally. And we use rocks to build roads, walls, buildings. Yeah, you're remembering some of the reasons we used rocks for. We use them, sometimes to make like silverware or plates, or our minerals come from them. I can see here, here's a road, here's like a brick wall or a rock wall, here's a house. We can find rocks all over when we look outside. And we find that we use rocks a lot. So this is a natural resource that we really, really use. And we don't make it. It's just occurring naturally. Trees are a very important natural resource. Trees can be used to build houses, furniture, and make paper. We use trees all the time in a school because one, we use them to help build the school, but think about all of the paper we use and the construction paper and the books that we read. All of that comes from trees. And we don't make the trees. Yeah, sometimes we do plant the trees, but we don't actually make the trees. You can look outside and see trees everywhere. Maybe not that much in Texas, but in some places in the United States and all over the world, there are trees everywhere. And that is a really good natural resource. Did you know that animals were also a natural resource? I know, isn't that crazy? Animals can be used for food, drinks, and clothing. Did you know they use animals for clothing? Yeah, most of you are probably wearing some form of cotton. That comes from like a sheep, and we would use that to make clothing for you to wear. And we know that, you can get milk from a cow. You get lots of food from animals. Where do we find these animals? Yeah, like at a farm. And sometimes they're just out in the wild. Even though sometimes people help raise the animals, we did not make them. They are just in nature. If people weren't there, guess what? The animals, they still would be. Ooh, oil. Now, this is something that first graders don't really have to worry that much about. But oil is a natural resource. It can be used to make gasoline, kerosene, and diesel. And these are all types of fuels that we use to help our cars go. They help with electricity. Sometimes they help with ovens and stoves. They help with like airplanes. You find oil in the earth. Oil is definitely one of those resources that is not that renewable. And we're going to learn about that later. But we use this natural resource a lot. Okay, now, before you work on your Seesaw assignment, I have a really fun song for us to sing to help remind us all about natural resources, okay? So go ahead, stand up. Let's get ready.
Natural resources are things we use from nature, and we use these resources in everything we do. From the water that we drink to fossil fuels, we use natural resources every day. And we use them all in different kind of ways. These trees can make paper and build houses. Rubber comes from trees to make tires and erasers. We use natural resources every day. And we use them all in different kind of ways.
On Seesaw, you have this assignment. I want you to go take a walk, or maybe just go look at your window and look around. What natural resources do you see just from your house? If you're at school, what natural resources do you see just from your school? You need to look and see, is that a natural resource? Is it just occurring naturally? It's just there? And is it something people use? We talked about like trees and air and water. I think that you can look around too and see, maybe like the sun, maybe anything around you that you can see is a natural resource. There are 4 boxes. I want you to draw and label 4 examples of natural resources that you can see. Make sure you push the green check mark when you're done.